I'm coming to you again from Avoca. You can see the beach behind me. It's been beautiful. Well, it's been raining, but that's still beautiful. I don't mind a lovely beach storm, but wild, wild waves. Anyway, so welcome on our deck. I thought I was going to have to do it inside. It's been raining all morning, but I've got a little break. So if it starts raining on me in the practice, that could be interesting. So we're up to, what are we, week 4 with our back care course. And I'll give you a little bit more info again about our backs, but let's do it while you're getting centered and getting started to focus on the breath. So welcome and namaste. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out with fresh eyes, seeing this morning, seeing this space around you, seeing the light of this day touching surfaces, and take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, focusing on the sounds that you can hear around you. You can do this with eyes open or closed. Feel as if you're really drinking in the sounds of the day, drawing them in through your ears, and feeling your connectedness to those sounds, to this day, to all that's around you. And then taking another deep breath in. Really fill the body with the breath. And then as you breathe out, with eyes open or closed, beginning to say good morning to your body. And as you do this, breathing in for a count of 5, and breathing out for a count of 5, an equal ratio of breath, balancing activation and energy and alertness with softness, presence, settledness in the body. Just feeling sensations, checking in with your body, coming into yoga union, where the thoughts, the breath, feelings in the body, all are connected. And there's a deeper sense of who you are, a deeper sense of your heart space and your spirit and the life energy that animates you. And so as you continue to breathe and feel connected to your body, I'll talk to you on a little tip this week about back care, is that you should not fear bending or lifting. So often when we have back pain or continued back pain, bending and lifting are often portrayed as a cause of that back pain. And of course, if you injure yourself, and you can injure yourself if you pick something up awkwardly, or if you bend and rise up awkwardly, or do something in an unaccustomed way. But this is most likely to be a sprain or a strain, which can happen to any muscle in the body. So the most important thing is to practice and get your body used to bending and moving in different ways, and also lifting and carrying different loads and weights. And next week, we're going to talk about what that would look like to lift in a healthy way. And remember, we are all different. And so it's perfectly normal for us to find our own ways of bending and lifting. So this is a quote from Professor Peter O'Sullivan. He's one of the world's leading physiotherapists working with chronic back pain. And he says, "There is so much fear about back pain. We don't fear ankle sprains and continue limping for years after. Why should it be so different for backs? It is so often fed with negative information, irrelevant radiological imaging generating fear, and the reinforcing of maladaptive protective behaviors. Liberating society of these beliefs would bring a great reduction in suffering to many, especially our most vulnerable. So the NICE guidelines, which doctors and health professionals use, this is in the UK, to advise and treat people for a wide range of conditions, and they say this is the most up-to-date evidence they can give and the most common sense advice about low back pain, recommend that people with back pain should be told that it will settle without major treatment and that keeping moving is essential. One of the treatment options that they recommend is structured group exercise, like we're doing this morning. And they say this may include aerobic activity, movement instruction, muscle strengthening, postural control, and stretching. So all of which we're doing this morning. So just to summarize our tips so far, most back pain is mechanical. You are stronger than you think, and your back is stronger than you think. Use it or lose it. We keep hearing this in so many different ways. Regular and consistent movement and exercise is the most effective strategy to prevent future episodes of back pain. Sleep is essential. It will affect how your back moves and your experience of pain. Bend and lift with awareness and confidence. We'll review that today with the bending. And the number one strategy is you are the expert on your back. So learn to pay attention and be compassionate with your back and notice what works for you. And so our focus for today is from Tara Brach. So I invite you to bring your hands to your heart, tune in for a moment. What would it be like if I could accept life, accept this moment exactly as it is? There is something wonderfully bold and liberating about saying yes to our entire imperfect and messy life. And maybe there's something wonderfully bold and liberating about saying yes to our entire imperfect and messy bodies. And so I invite you to set an intention for your practice today, a way of being in your practice that will honor your back, that will honor this moment, and really let you get the most out of this hour you spend focusing on you. And so as you set that intention, I invite you to repeat it 3 times. And then taking a deep breath in and out, and coming to standing, and we'll get activated. So as you come to standing, feel the soles of your feet on the earth, coming into the mountain pose. Feel all 4 corners connected to the earth. And start to step side to side. Really feel your feet. And then let your hips start to get into it. Start to stretch that hip out side to side. And feel this rolling movement through the hips. You're making those figure 8s. And then start to take your shoulders back with you. Step a bit wider now. Roll the shoulders back. And start to take the elbows up and over with it. Really squeeze those shoulder blades back. And then take the arms over with it, if that's okay for your shoulders. Everything should feel good. Take them as high as it feels good for you. And then we're going to step across. So stretch. Time this beautiful movement through the ribs. And then across the body. Feel how that starts to make a twist. And again. then step the feet across. Woo, I blocked. Let those arms come up and down. Continuing this kind of stretching and opening through the spine. And then give everything a little shake. The whole body a shake. Out to the side, down to the earth. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. And out. And then bring the hands so they meet just underneath the belly button. And let's link the breath and movement. Breathe in. Earth sequence. Breathe out. Hands come down. Bend the knees. Breathe in. Lift overhead. And breathe out. Open. So you're really focusing on the feel of how the breath and the movement can work together. And open. So the in-breath lifts your arms. The out-breath releases your arms. The in-breath lifts them overhead. And the out-breath lets them open wide. One more time here. This is one of the key things that takes you from stretching into yoga. The breath is a link between our bodies and minds. Step the legs a bit wider. So this is our squat, so take the toes out to the side a bit. Breathe in. And just a little squat to start. Back stays nice and straight. Breathe in. And open. I'll turn to the side so you can see. So we're keeping the back long and tall. Breathing in. Breathing out. Squat. Breathing in. Lift. And you can start to come down as low as you like in the squat, but I don't want you to collapse the chest or the back. So you're keeping the back as straight as possible. And I'd like you to really feel how it's the strength of your legs that brings you upward, and how strong and stable the back feels. This is key to rising from bending when you want to support the back, and also next week when we look at lifting in a healthy way that's supportive of the back. Now we're going to add the bend here, and we're all going to do it in a protective way. So forward fold with flat back. Bend the knees so you're squatting back down to rise. And open. So we're all practicing bending in a way that is protective, flat back. Squatting to rise is protective. So remember, no pain, no pain. You're only going as far as it's comfortable. If you needed to support the back as you bend forward, you can put the hands on the legs. I'm getting this lovely drizzle on me the whole time. Hopefully it's not going to get any stronger. Breathe in. Forward fold. Flat back. Strong legs shooting you to standing. Now taking the right leg back. So now we're in a bit of a back bend here in this warrior position. You're going to breathe in. Bend into that left leg and the arms come up on a diagonal. Breathe in and just lift the heart a bit, lift the sternum, and breathe out. Take the arms wide. Now if there feels like there's any pinching at the low back, step the legs closer together. If there feels like there's any pinching at the low back, then don't do that lift of the heart with this inhalation. Just hold steady and open. If you're feeling really strong, you might want to keep this leg bent the whole time, or even take the legs a bit wider apart. And step forward, and then we'll take the left leg back. Again, keeping closer together is going to be softer on your back. taking them wider apart. Keeping that front leg bent the whole time will be more challenging. And you want to really feel that that back leg, the outside edge of it, is connected to the earth. It's not popping off. You're not sinking into the arch on that left leg. It's starting to rain a bit harder now. And that left pinky toe is attached to the earth. Open. Last one. Feel that lovely openness through the heart, through the shoulders. Breathe in. And then step forward and open. So start to scoop the hands and let the hips come side to side. This is one of those movements that I'm recommending are good throughout the day. You're starting to feel stiff through your back. You can feel that you kind of get that figure eight movement happening through the pelvis, the hips, but you also get this opening through the heart. Lovely. And then give everything a little shake. And let's get some side bends happening. So we've got all these movements that the spine is going, oh, please, please, will she do this for me today? So it likes to bend side to side. It likes to be stretched and elongated, which we're doing in the center of this movement. It likes forward bending, backward bending, and that doesn't have to mean a whole full Sydney Harbour Bridge. We just did a little bit of a back bend with that warrior position with the legs. It loves twisting. And finally, it loves it when you're aware of your core and that's activated. So arms come down, lift up, and breathe out. Arms come down. So I've made this a little bit stronger with the arms coming up onto our toes. Breathe out. If you're keeping it softer with the arms, then have the elbows forward and just relaxing down and up. So we've been doing that the last few weeks, but I'm also showing you now how you can just free it up a little bit if that feels all right. And I love that feeling. One more, up on the toes. We want to use those toes, strengthen the arches. Your posture starts in your feet. Arms out to the side. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. All of this is postural work. And in this one, we get a little bit of freedom. Letting go of tension around the shoulders and the neck. One more. Arms come down. And let's slowly roll them backward and forward and bring them slowly up to shoulder height. If there's any clicking, catching in the shoulders, keep it soft and keep it lower. So I want you to also have this awareness of your lower abdominals, your pelvic floor as you do this. Just bring your awareness there, because what we've done is take our arms away from our body. Now we've got a weight that we're carrying away from our body. Look towards the right hand, twist the left the opposite direction. And then we're just going to twist side to side, looking towards that outstretched hand. So as soon as we take a weight away from our body like this, we really want it to be the core that's holding it there. So our shoulder muscles, our arm muscles are really a little bit secondary. What we want is the foundations for this movement come from deep down at the base of the spine. And if your core is not active, then it's your low back muscles that are holding all this weight. So it's really important. Awareness of the pelvic floor, awareness of the lower abdominals. Both palms facing up, lift the heart, and then breathe out, turn the palms down, let them float down. And many of you got a little bit of warmth happening there. Give the arms a little shake. Beautiful. And then you're going to breathe in and take the hands forward. Breathe out, we come into our twists. So for this first stage, you're keeping the elbows soft. And I really like to spread my toes wide and feel that the big and little toes are pressing evenly down into the earth, which gives me a sense of stability. The knees stay soft. I kind of let them float with the movement. And you're just feeling into where you get this in the back. Shoulders are soft, elbows are soft. And then we'll go to our next phase where we step with it. So the foot leads and the trailing foot comes off the heel. Breathe in. Other foot leads, heel comes off. Look over the shoulder. Breathe in. Let yourself flow with this. Again, knees stay soft the whole time. Elbows soft, shoulders soft. If your arms are getting tired from being held up, give them a little shake. A little bit of holding. And now you're going to take that lead arm and tuck it around behind and let the trailing arm touch your shoulder, opposite shoulder. That'll give you that maximum twist. Breathing into center, hug the tree. Breathing out. Just a little gentle touch at your low back. If that's not right for your shoulders, then just stay with the other phase we were doing. And now just cultivate a little pause when you're in the full twist. Oh, full out breath, not quite ready to inhale, and then uncurl, breathe in. So keep everything really nice and slow. Savor each movement. We're not trying to rush through anything. Breathe back to center and hands float down. And so let's do a little review of our bending and rising. So breathing in, support the low back, lift the heart. We begin with protective bending and rising. Breathe out, hands come down, and we have that flat back position again, and we're supporting ourselves with our legs. To rise, we bend the knees more deeply, press into the feet, rise with a flat back, lift to the sky. So that's your one option, and you're paying attention to what feels better for your back. Now we're going to do this with some segmental mobility, if possible for you. Breathe out, slow down as far as it's comfortable, relax the head. Knees are bent still, but we let ourselves uncurl one vertebra at a time. If this feels wrong for your back in any way, then you come back to that flat back position and rising from the flat back position with a squat. So let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze the elbows, lift the chest. Breathe out, forward fold. You want this to feel really luscious and wonderful, which it's hard for that to be that if your back's not feeling right and you feel uneasy the whole time. So it's really important to be compassionate and choose which one feels good for you. And this time with your forward fold, stay there and let yourself, like an elephant's trunk, sway side to side. Knees are soft. Again, if you needed extra support, you could have your hands on your knees, but try to let the head be soft, face soft, shoulders soft. Lovely. And then turn your toes to the right and sway towards the right. You'll find if you really let yourself sway towards the back, you get this opening through the left ribs, or you can keep it really just nice and gentle. And then toes turn to the left, and you can feel as well there's a bit of a balance here, with our legs nearly in a straight line, our feet in a straight line. And then back to center. And keeping the legs closer together, we've done this differently before. I'm going to ask you to come down into a squat position, but the knees stay close together. So last week we did it with legs wide. I'm just showing you a variation. So then you can breathe in, arms lift, breathe out, let the hands come down and come back into a forward fold, either flat back or letting it curve. Breathe in, bend down into your squat, lift the arms. Breathe out, forward fold, bottom in the air. Last one, breathing in, sink to your squat, lift the arms. Breathe out, open wide. And then we'll rise up. Breathe in and breathe out, open. Give everything a little shake. If you want to do those hip movements again, then please do. And so let's come down onto the mat and do some focused work now for this low back. So lying on your back, your knees are up, but your feet are still on the ground. We start with our pelvic tilt. So this is a really good way to start, just to tune into your low back. Gotta undo the knot in my shirt. There we go. So just starting to tilt and really exaggerate the pressing your back into the mat, because you can feel how that engages your abdominals. Shoulders are soft, just really pressing into the mat and pressing away. Beautiful. And then finding this neutral position here where there's a soft space underneath, just a gentle space underneath the low back, and start to straighten the right leg, slide it away, and then slide it back. Now, if that feels like it's putting any strain going to the left side and back, on the back, then really press the low back down quite firmly, flatten the back as you do this. So you choose nice and firm, flat back, pressing into the earth, which actually feels quite good when I do that, or just a relaxed lower back. Either way, I want you to focus on the lower abdominals being firm, the pelvic floor, just notice that it's there, that it is a support. I'm not going to tell you to pull it up strongly. And finally, that you're breathing. So there's this little bit of engagement here through the lower abdominals. So the breath isn't completely free and coming down to the lower abdominals, but you can still feel the ribs expanding, the upper abdomen expanding. So there's this bit of tension there that's good. It's supportive, but the breath is still full. It's not sitting in the chest. It's coming down as you practice. Beautiful. Last one. So this helps to strengthen core, abdominals, and lengthen that iliopsoas. So bring your knees into your chest. Roll them around a bit. Massage into your low back. Good. Beautiful. And then bring your feet back down, and now that's lift into our bridge. So flatten the low back, lift your buttocks, press into your feet, and roll the back down, one vertebra at a time. Soften everything at the end of the exhalation. And then inhale, flatten, squeeze glutes, press into the feet, lift your low back off the floor. Roll it back down, one vertebra at a time. And relax everything at the end of the exhalation. Face, shoulders, arms. Breathe in, press, squeeze glutes, press into feet, lift up to you. Feel the middle of the back pressing into the floor. Soften the shoulders. Breathe out. Slowly come back down. So if this movement feels really easy for you, what I want you to focus on, and we're just going to keep flowing now, so up to the shoulders, is that linking of breath and movement. Again, like I've said a few times, it's like the breath lifts the back with that in-breath, and the out-breath is what releases the breath back, the back down to the floor. Now come as high as you can. And really honor the pauses at the end of the inhalation. Just pause there a moment. Enjoy. And then roll back down. And at the end of the exhalation, allow that natural pause to soften the whole body. So we're going to do 3 more breaths. And you're either going to hold in this fully lifted position, squeezing the glutes, or you're going to come up and down. So if you're coming up and down, you know what you're doing. If you're holding, I'm going to talk to you a bit. So your shoulders need to come away from your ears. I can kind of work them down. I could hold my heels or ankles. I could be supporting my glutes or my hands under my lower back. I could have my palms pressing into the earth. I tuck my chin in to keep the back of the neck long, and I soften my brow and my eyes. Should feel a lot happening here through the glutes, through the quads, pressing into the feet. And then let's all meet back down on the mat and bring our knees into the chest once again. Take the knees wide and roll them around, either flopping side to side or rolling in circles, you choose. And so having worked a bit with core, we want to now let these iliopsoas muscles really lengthen. So placing the feet back on the mat, once again, find your neutral position. So either the low back soft or pressed into the mat. And then you're going to start to straighten that right leg. And if there's any pulling, you're just going to stop there. So it might not be fully lengthened, it could be bent. And then bring that left knee into the chest and draw it in. So what we're looking for is a stretch along the front of this right hip. For some of you, it might feel quite pronounced. For some, it might not feel like much at all. And then we're going to start to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. So imagine that the breath is flowing down the spine, the in-breath, and really filling the belly. Feel the belly rise, and then breathing out, feel the belly relax and soften back. And so we're going to take 5 of these breaths here. And what we're doing is a very deep muscle, our iliopsoas. It's actually kind of 2 muscles that come together. And it's quite key for the health of our low back and for core stability. And so these deep breathing in this elongated position is a really effective way for that muscle to sort of come back online and relax and soften and lengthen. It's a hip flexor muscle. So when in our bent position, when we're sitting, it's often getting cramped up and stuck in that sort of bent position, and it can create some little bit of havoc around our low backs. So we're just offering a little bit of love to that iliopsoas as we breathe here. And we know that because of where it attaches, it's quite connected to our breathing process. That's why this is so effective. Last one. Lovely. And then bend that right knee, bring it in. Just a little bit of flopping side to side before we go to the other side. Lovely. And then let that left leg come down and slowly straighten, checking in. It might be different to the right. It might not like to fully extend, or it might, and the other didn't. The right knee is into the chest, arms holding them there, and then we start that deep diaphragmatic breathing. So really feel the belly expand, and then the ribs expand, and then soften. And you might really have a sense with each out breath that it's kind of a, doesn't this feel lovely? Just to let that go. Face is soft, shoulders are relaxed. Two more of these long, deep breaths. All of this is telling your nervous system it's okay to relax, because our muscles are connected, like everything is, to our nervous system. So tension, stress held there, we would all have our own muscle patterns of where we hold that stress. Beautiful. And then bend that knee, and let's roll over onto our bellies. So if you're having low back pain, then it's highly likely that that is one place where you hold your stress. So we're coming up into Sphinx, and you're pressing into your elbows, rolling the shoulders back, so have a few rolls. Give your bottom a little shake side to side. Breathe in, press into the elbows, draw your heart forward, and breathe out. Tuck your chin down into your throat. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, look to the right. Try to look at your legs. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out to the left. Check out your feet, your toes. Breathe in, look forward. And breathe out, tuck the chin again. Breathe in, rise up. And then breathe out, let the elbows come out to the sides. Put your head on your forearms, take your legs wide, let your heels flop into the center. This is Makarasana. And give your hips a little shake. Beautiful. And then from here, bring your legs back together. You can keep your arms where they are, coming into this sort of half locust. Tuck your right toes, lift the knee, squeeze the right glute. We've talked about having the left glute relaxed, just the right glute is activated. And if this is okay for you, then lift that right foot, point the toes off the mat. If that's feeling a strain in the low back, then come back to toes on the mat, just lifting the knee, or put a cushion underneath your hips to take out some of the back bend in this position. And then from here, make little clockwise circles, just tiny ones, as you keep that leg lifting as high as you possibly can. And then counterclockwise, anti-clockwise circles. And really feel that glute squeezing. And then bend the knee and little circles anti-clockwise. Keep squeezing that right glute. Clockwise, squeezing, lifting that knee. And then release the leg, bring the hands under the shoulders, and take yourself back into child's pose. Extend through the arms, let the back round, relax the head, and just let everything lengthen for a moment. So lying on our bellies in that way creates a back bend. So just tune into the back again. If that was too much, then put a cushion underneath your belly to take out some of that bend. And let's do the other side. So we're working with glute strength here. So you can kind of have your arms wherever it's comfortable in the head. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee off the mat and squeeze. I really want you to consciously squeeze that left glute. And then tune into the right glute and the right leg. It's all relaxed. It's chilling out there. It's the left that's doing all the work. If this is comfortable for you, then point your left toes and keep that left leg in the air. Feel that more intense workout of that left glute. Right is relaxed. And then start your clockwise circles with your toes. If at any time this is too intense, you can come back to child's pose or even cat-cow, which we're going to do next. And then go the opposite way. So we've lengthened the iliopsoas. We've tuned into the core. Now we're working with the glutes. Key to back health. And then bend that left knee. Clockwise circles. Gentle, gentle. But you can feel that glute working hard. And then anti-clockwise. Beautiful. And then relax that leg. Hands under the shoulders. Back into your child's pose. This time give some love to your back. So a bit of tapotement, a bit of percussion with your fists. Giving it a massage. Tapping. Tap into your glutes. They've just been doing some good work for us. Back up into your low back, up to the middle back, across the sacrum, across the tops of the hips. Beautiful. And then come into 3 rounds of cat-cow, really being honoring of the breath. So in breath, stick your bottom out, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, lift the heart. Out breath, head stays where it is, low back tucks under, one segment at a time. You feel engaged until at the very end the chin tucks. Chin stays tucked in, breathe in, start to tilt your pelvis. The movement comes up the spine, eventually the shoulders drop, and then the chin lifts at the last. Stays where it is as you tuck your bottom under. So we're having this movement always begin at the base of the spine and rise up, and head comes in last. Let's do that one more time. Does that feel lovely? But by doing this movement, starting at the base, it's like this rising of breath up the spine and this release of breath up the spine. And now let yourself let it go. So look side to side, shift your hips side to side, roll the hips around any way that feels good. Oh, construction starting next door. I don't know if you can hear that. Roll the shoulders around. Roll the chin and head around. Doesn't that feel nice? Beautiful. And then let's come down to everybody's favorite movement, our lying spinal twist. So remember, you might want something underneath your head. Your legs are at 90 degrees. And if you're comfortable with this, then go ahead and go for it in any way that feels nice to you. But for someone whose low back's a bit titchy, it's nice to come into it slowly. So I'll take you slowly, but feel free to do your own thing if you're comfortable. So breathing in, if you're taking it slowly, drag the top hand across just to the armpit. Feel what that does for your back, and then slide it back with your out breath. Then the next in breath, slide it along, come to the heart. Maybe that's enough. Just feel that bit of twist. And then come back. With your next in breath, maybe coming so the hands at its own armpit, shoulder. Check that out. Come back. And now if it's been introduced enough and the back says yes, let's do it, then maybe full extension of the arms, 180 degrees, extending armpit to armpit. And then explore the head, look side to side. If possible, looking towards that outstretched arm, which creates a lovely ringing action. Breathing here. Let's take 3 breaths together in this extended position. Or if you're keeping the movement going, because that feels better, feel free. You may like to take the hand to the top of the knee, which might just give a little bit more stretch through the hip and ribs, but you choose if that feels good. Deep breaths going right to the belly again. Through our whole practice, our breath is telling our nervous system it's okay, and it sends that message to the back. I'm stronger than I think. I know how to be in relationship with my back and move in a healthy way. And then bringing the arms back to the beginning, and let's roll to the other side. So I'm not going to do the circle this time, but if you know you love that from our other classes, then feel free. I'm just going to do the opening of the spiral. But again, do your own thing if you know what's right for you. We're at 90 degrees. Slowly, if you're coming with me, that upper hand comes across just to the first armpit and then comes back with the out breath. Then it comes across to the heart and comes back. So you could really apply this to any yoga posture, to tell you the truth, especially one you might be unsure about with your back or any other part of your body that's had some injury. It's just to slowly introduce it. Go, this is where we're going, body. Okay, so now we're fully extended, checking in if everything's okay. Turn the head side to side. And as much as possible, looking over towards that outstretched arms. You may want to adjust the shoulder blades, and you may want to put some pressure on that knee. And you can notice the difference one side to the other. So putting pressure on the knee on this side for me really doesn't do much. It was pretty chilled already. On the other side, I could really feel how it increased the stretch for me. And we settle into the breath. Each out breath, we offer this sense of softening. Hello back, you are stronger than you think. And after all these years, I'm here to look after you. I'm noticing which of these movements really works for me and for you back. And then bringing the arm back to the start. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll come rising up to standing. Beautiful. So we got there today with our arms supporting us. We'll play again with doing that without give, everything a little shake. And we want to finish with our tree pose, our balance. So weight comes onto your right leg. Spread your toes wide. Find the knees with some play. Turn that left knee out. I've still got my toes on the mat. Let's tune into our posture for a second. So we're going to do our posture remembering here. So I'm feeling the four corners of the right foot. Knee is soft, not locked. Tuck your pelvis under. Stick it out. Tuck it under. Stick it out. And then find that neutral position. In your neutral position, you'll feel the lower abdominals are just gently engaged. Silver cord lifting the spine towards the sky. Roll the shoulders back a few times, but let them be a bit soft. And it's as if from the outer corners of your shoulders, there's a V going down to where your bra strap would be, the middle back. And there's just a gentle sense of drawing the shoulders down to that V. So it's not a really squeezing hard. It's just this gentle engagement of the shoulder blades. So from this posture now, if you want to lift the leg, rest it on the shin, rest it on the thigh, or even pose of Dru Back, you could have it just out there, hanging out outside the knee, not touching it, or you could have your toes on the ground, and then breathe. Take the arms overhead with your in-breath. Out breath, bring the hands to the heart. In breath, reach to the sky again. Out breath, open wide. In breath to the heart, hands in prayer position. And remembering your intention for today, place it inside your hand. That's your planting your seed. This is how I choose to be. I'm balanced, strong, being led by my own intention, not by all those distracting shiny objects today. And then taking the arms overhead, let the hands open into lotus position, the blossoming of you, your intention, balanced and strong. As the winds of the day blow through you and around you, I am steady. I know who I am and who I choose to be. And then Gyan Mudra on both sides, so index fingers and thumbs touching. Take a golden thread from that lotus and open wide, weaving this golden intention through your day. And then release, softly release the legs. Standing in Tadasana, what do you need to do to feel good? Maybe you need to shake out that leg. Maybe you need to give a little wiggle and a figure eight. Maybe you give a little ragdoll twist. I want you to tune into you. What would feel good? Because we were doing some strenuous stuff there. So then taking your weight over to the left in the same way. Turn the right knee out. Let's create our mountain here before we move. Four corners of the foot, knees soft, pelvis in neutral, spine long, heart open, arms relaxed, left glute strong, and then choose where you put your leg. Breathe in and out, hands to the heart. Breathe in, lift the arms overhead. Breathe out, open. Hands come down. Breathe in. Anjali Mudra at the heart. Place the seed of intention there again. What am I taking with me off the mat? Who am I? What will be useful today? And then take that overhead, the lotus blossoming, breathing naturally, seeing all the challenges, all the busyness, all the activities of today, and seeing yourself conscious, aware, present, a blossoming of your consciousness. And see yourself being good to your back. And then Gyan Mudra, index fingers and thumbs, taking that golden thread from the center of the lotus and weave it through your day, your mind, your breath, your body, your actions. And release. Release the legs slowly. Stand in Tadasana. I am a mountain of. And then let's all do a little ragdoll twist or whatever would feel good for you. And then we'll meet down at Shavasana. Remember, you can use a chair to put your legs up on the chair. That's a beautiful constructive rest position. Or a cushion under your knees, or knees bent. Let's all come down and integrate. These last 8 minutes are important. You may or may not need something underneath your head. I think I told you last week I'm going to keep it under my head because it makes my mic work better. And actually, I'm just going to keep my knees bent today. So if your knees are bent, have them mat width apart and let your knees flop together. Then you're not having to consciously hold them. So we're finding our most comfortable rest position where the back feels lovely and supported and stable, where the back of the neck is long. But you also don't want to close off the throat. The shoulders are away from the ears. Palms are facing upward, or the hands resting on the belly, which can be quite soothing and nurturing. If legs are extended, you're checking in with the low back. If there's any strain, then you want to put some more bend in the knees, either with cushions or by putting them up on a chair or taking the posture I'm in, knees fully bent. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out through the mouth. Deep breath in. Helping our nervous systems let go of extra energy, tension. Breathe in. If that feels good and you want to do some more of that, please feel free. Otherwise, let the breath return to normal. That sighing breath is such a beautiful way to help our nervous systems release pent-up energy. Come back to a parasympathetic response, which is relaxed, coming into homeostasis, repair. And then we let the breath settle. We feel the earth supporting us. Feel the whole of the body. And with your next exhalation, see if you can let go just 20% more. See if you can let the earth hold your weight and kind of melt into the earth. What would it mean to let go 20% more? Where is that little bit of holding on? Ooh, I just found some around my upper ribs, near my armpits. And then with your next exhalation, could you let go just 10% more? I just found some around my eyes. Little sneaky pockets where we hold tension. With your next exhalation, finding 10% more softness through the legs, the feet, the toes. And with the next, just 5% more in the arms, the hands, the fingers. And with the next, just 3% more relaxation through the back, the chest, the belly. And just 1% more around the head, the neck, the eyes, the jaw. What would it be like if I could accept life, accept this moment exactly as it is? There is something wonderfully bold and liberating about saying yes to our entire imperfect and messy life. What it would be like, what would it be like to accept this moment, this body, this day, just as it is? Accept ourselves just as we are. Accept all the messiness and imperfection that is already here. Could we soften into it? Just exploring, what would that be like today? We're not forcing, we're not judging, not striving, just with curiosity. What would it be like if I could accept life exactly as it is? If I could say yes to my entire imperfect and messy life? How does that feel? And that was from Dru Back. I just love her. And so we're going to finish by bringing the knees up into the chest. Give them a big hug and roll ourselves into a ball. Squeeze. And then breathe out. And take the arms overhead. Maybe take the legs long. It's up to you. Oh, lovely breath here. And then in the way that you know how, and that's honoring of your body, coming up to sitting. And we'll finish with 3 Oms to seal our practice. Hands at the heart. Taking a deep breath in. And the light in me sees and greets the light in you and all beings. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. That was week 4. So what I'd like you to do for homework is, again, choose 3 themes. You may be doing the recording, so that's great. Do that through the week. But throughout your day, 3 movements that you would do that would honor your back, that feel really good. And really be aware of how you're bending and rising from that bending this week. And then next week, we're going to have a look at lifting properly. So thank you. And if anybody needs